Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is Motivation for Young Christians. Welcome back,
Okay.
welcome back.
Today we have a very special guest in the building, guys. I know I've been uploading a bunch of interviews the last couple of weeks, but we are back with another one today. We just have a very special guest. Going to be learning by him, his photography on brand, and just everything. So without further ado, Mr. Steve, you can introduce yourself to the people.
What's up, everyone? I'm Steven Jones. I'm a photographer. I'm a professor. I'm a just overall creative. Um, yeah, so that's all I got for now.
And we have a total of 13 questions today, and we're going to begin with the first question. The first question is, what does the title 5 a.m. today mean, and how did you come up with it?
Um, that's just what it. I mean, it is what it is. 5 a.m. today just means 5 a.m. today. How I came up with it is just back when I'm probably way older than you. So back when there was internet and AIM and AOL and um, video games got better. So I used to play a lot of like MMO RPGs, and like I'd be up like all night playing video games. So I'd go to sleep at 5 a.m. And then just in general, like I've always been a night owl, as my mom would say. So I'd read books super late and just go to sleep dumb late. So that's kind of where that came from. So when I started my Instagram, I just was like, oh yeah, well, I could just use that. So that's where it really came up. And then it kind of stuck. So like a lot of my friends call me Five and stuff like that. So
So basically, a name that was accidental, but you just ran with it.
just ran with it.
Yeah. And then from looking at your website, I actually found out that your love for writing actually got you into photography, which is a very amazing thing, which will lead us into our second question. How did your love for wanting to be a writer turn into being a photographer?
It's a good question. So since I was young, I've always written. So I used to write short stories, science fiction, fantasy, that kind of stuff. Used to be like a big nerd, so I used to play a lot of like D&D and stuff like that. Um, or Dungeons and Dragons for people who don't know what that D&D stands for. Anyway, so I wrote all through middle school, all through high school, and then when I got to college, the first time, um, I still wrote, like I took English classes and things like that. But then, once I got, back to college the second time, or just in general, just back to college period, it was just very hard to write, personal stuff and write for school. College is a lot of writing. So my brain just was like not really being able to process this or not being able to separate those two things. So I couldn't like tell my stories. And then, I've always had cameras, but like I finally got like a camera. And then it just clicked. I was like, oh, I could tell stories this way. And it was easier, like my brain can like really process it. So I could tell a story in like a few images versus like writing where, writing is a lot about rewriting and editing and rewriting a lot. So you have to spend a lot of time on one story versus like photography. Like photography is a lot of editing and things like that, but you can get your stories out a lot faster. So that's where my love for writing, which I still have that love, but I'm in a PhD program, so I'm writing a lot of other stuff. So photography is still the thing that kind of keeps me um, going as a storyteller.
And I think that's amazing that you're still able to pursue writing, but then in a different art form. And with me, with being a videographer, I fell in love with that through carpentry, because my dad growing up was a carpenter and he worked on like building houses and a bunch of different things. So my love for creating and just seeing stuff being created from the grounds up, that's where like my love for creating actually came about. And then it translates to videography through like movies. So I always remember like watching movies growing up, and I kind of like I was breaking it down in my mind, like how did they shoot that? How did they do that
Mm,
visual effect? So I just translated my love for creating through carpentry. I just translated that towards photography, not photography, videography.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's pretty cool. Yeah. Huh. Good job.
So we both had different passions that you wouldn't think would lead you into that into that field, but it did end up leading us into the our career field. So hey,
Facts.
it worked
And
out.
it worked out. And, that's the thing. Like, people need to, be open to pivoting sometimes. Like, we do kind of get stuck, because, like, we can have um, various goals in mind. And I'm not saying, like, writing is dead for me. Like, right now, I pulled out a lot of my old writings recently. So it's like, it's not that it died, it just was delayed. You know what I'm saying? So um, sometimes people get stuck. They're like, oh no, I have to do this. And I'm just like, yeah, but you have other plans, and you have other goals. And you have to be able to kind of pivot a little bit if needed. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, definitely. Because my original plan was to be a carpenter, but then obviously that got delayed. But I was still able to do different stuff with that because anytime like my dad doing certain works and stuff, so I'd be able to help him out. So I still do it occasionally, so that's not
mhm.
completely forgotten. But I wouldn't pursue as a main career, but more just do something I'll do on the side here and there.
Yeah, and the cool thing is, like, with your videography, you can even help your dad or like people like that promote their work and their art. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, like, carpentry is art. You know what I'm saying? Because your dad and yourself, you're making something. You know what I'm saying? And it's something that most people can't do. You know what I mean? So to document that would be really dope, especially from like your perspective. It's kind of cool.
I actually never thought about documenting that.
See, you know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, bro, you gotta, like, two things. You have to document your life because you're giving you're giving people a perspective on, like, your life, right, and the people around you. But also, B, like, a lot of those moments, like, your dad in the workshop, like, by himself working, right? Like, no one gets to see that, right? And then also, you can preserve that for you, for your future family. Like, yo, this is your grandfather. Look, this is what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, back in the day, like my parents and like their parents, they didn't have video cameras. There's no, like, we can't, like, I can't put a tape in and be like, yo, that's what my grandfather did in the country in Jamaica. Like, I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? But, like, you being the person in your family that's good at that videography stuff, like, you're great at it, right? So, like, that's your responsibility, right? Um, it's kind of like, you know, a God given talent that you got to use for that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's dope, man.
Third
You
question.
should.
All right. So the question number 3: What are some of the obstacles you face in getting? What are some of the obstacles you face during your journey of becoming a photographer and opening your own brand?
That's a good question. So I think some of the obstacles I face is just learning the art of photography. That photography and most arts is more about the time you put in and the time and effort you put in learning your craft and honing your craft and training and stuff like that. So and especially with photography, each step of the way you can kind of feel like, hey, I got this. Like, yo, I'm a good photographer. Like, each step of the way, but if you were able to kind of like take a step back, you realize, like, you're not that good of a photographer. Like, you know, so, I've been a photographer for maybe 8 years or something like that. And I know, like, my first 3, 4 years, 'cause I just found a hard drive. I just fixed one of my hard drives from like 2014, I guess. And I'm looking for pictures and I'm like, yo, these pictures aren't that good. But I remember thinking that I was good back then. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. So that's one of the obstacles, is like getting over that initial, hey, I think I'm the best at this, and pushing through and learning to be better. You know what I'm saying? I feel like, what I'm saying? Like, people can look at LeBron and be like, yo, he's the best basketball player ever. But he himself is always working. You know what I mean? Always learning his craft. And, that's one of the obstacles. You have to push through this idea that just because you do something that you're good at it. It's like, what are you doing with it and how are you working towards being better? So that's one of the obstacles. Other thing is just like not knowing stuff, like in terms of like starting a brand and starting a business, like not knowing all the in and outs. Sometimes, especially back when I started, people were very, especially like in DC and all that, even in New York sometimes, people like hoard information. So, you might ask someone for help, but they may not give you the direction or the answer to the question you need. Because I feel like sometimes people feel like you're competition, and that may be true. Like I may be your competition, but I'm also like your help as well. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was trying to find mentors and people who would actually help me and not just hoard all the information. They'd be like, oh yeah, you can just go on YouTube and find that. Nah, I'm asking you, like you're the photographer, like I need some help, right? So with me now, I say this all the time, like there's no secret. So if someone asks me for help or they're asking me a question, I can point them in the right direction. Like, yeah, I might send you some YouTube videos, but like I'll also be like, if you have questions, just ask me. You know what I'm saying? So if you watch the video, you have questions, ask me and I'll answer them too. You know what I'm saying? I'll make it clear. But there's no secrets. Like all the stuff is out there. It's just I feel like if you're doing your craft for a long time, like you're the person that like kind of has it all packaged, right? Like I don't need to go on YouTube and search a million people. Like you have it all packaged right now. So how can you like relay that package to me? It's like, yeah, I can. So when I say no secrets, like, yeah, I can spend the time to go find the stuff, right? So you're not telling me the information is not actually going to keep you from getting the information. It's kind of stupid for you to hold it. So just let me like save me some time, guide me, show me the way, right? Show me what you learned. So even me, I have like a whole Dropbox folder. Like if beginning photographers hit me up, I have a whole Dropbox folder where I tell them like, all right, here's all the books I read when I started. Here's all the websites I went to. Here's all the YouTube links. I started making collages during COVID. I have like a YouTube playlist where I'm like, yo, this is how I learned how to do collage. Here's all the videos I watch. Like if you have questions, ask me. There ain't no secrets, bro. So I'm trying to like help people get over obstacles by just being a source of help. And then just having your own brand. I feel like one of my main obstacles is like I don't promote myself that well. I don't like being on Front Street. I don't like that's what people would say, Front Street, but I like being in the background, right? But when you have your own brand, you kind of have to be in the foreground. You have to be in people's faces. You have to be on Instagram. You have to be, on YouTube and all the stuff. You have to do interviews and stuff, right? Personally, I don't like it. So that's a battle I have all the time with myself because, you got to post. You got to do something, right? So that's an obstacle. I'm still working on that because I don't like people all in my business, but I have a business. I need customers. So I got to be out there. you know. So yeah, that's the obstacle, or a few of the obstacles I have.
I just want to say thank you so much for that work that you're doing to be able to help just upcoming people because like that's just a big thing completely. Like people do a lot to hide information and just not willing to like offer help. And I make sure like I do that. If anybody asks me any questions related to any like the different stuff that I do, I make sure I answer questions because me personally, I'm not competing with nobody on what I'm doing. Like I don't have a competition. There's nobody that I'm competing with. So I don't mind sharing a little information. You need help writing a sermon, I can help you write a sermon. You need help with
Mm,
public speaking, I can help you with public speaking. You need help editing a video, creating a video, I could do all of that because I have that talent, I have that gift, and God never created us to be selfish with our gifts. To not
that's
only
true.
use our gifts, but also to help people with our gifts. So I make sure
Mm,
that I return that favor. Even on the YouTube thing, with Brother Moraith. But I did a video with him that came out last week. He hit me up about starting his own YouTube channel. And I remember we
oh,
went through the whole thing, like from like the startup of the channel, and we actually created a channel and launched everything. And that's a perfect example because it's like I have the talent, I have that gift.
mm,
Like I know how to create YouTube videos. I know how to create the channel, the in and out of YouTube. And instead of me being selfish with my gift and not helping him, I went ahead and helped him because that's what we have to
Mm-hmm.
do. Like you got a gift, you got talent, you got knowledge, use it. God
Yeah,
didn't create it. God didn't create it for you to be selfish. And then on the second part where you mentioned with being like being you like being in the background, I'm kind of like the opposite. I, I kind of like I kind of like being out there, but then I also do like being in the background here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Because anytime I get to record different like church events, I'm more in the
Yeah.
background and I kind of like it because I'm like I be on camera way too much. Y'all be seeing me way too much. Let y'all go see somebody else. So like
Yeah.
I'm more of like the like I just like being in front of the camera, but still kind of like learning to also be behind the camera and
Behind
everything.
it. Yeah. I mean,
That's one thing
that's
I'm
just,
learning.
that's just personalities, right? Like, I don't, I don't not, I'm not scared of the camera. Like, I took public speaking classes, I teach, so I have to be I have to present stuff all the time, but, I think I'm a lot more introverted than not most people, but like probably a lot more introverted than you, right? So when I have to do those public speaking things, it's not like I'm having fun doing it. So I'm just doing it and I can do it and people will think it's great. People will think like, oh, you must love this. No, people think I like public speaking. I don't. I'm terrified every time, but you know, you can't, I always tell people like I'm Jamaican, um, I'm a Capricorn, like people like my mom would never let me not do something because I'm afraid of doing it. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, yo, where y'all said go, yo. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to do the presentation so I can get an A so I don't get yelled at by my moms. Yo, I'm doing the presentation. You know what I'm saying? So like I may be scared up there, but the way my mom makes it work is just like, yo, you have to do this. So just go do it. You know what I mean? So it's just how it is.
And then the good thing with it, and I think that the good thing is that you're self-aware, so you know it already. And then obviously, certain points obviously gonna get pushed out of your comfort zone because you gotta do certain things. But it's the fact that you're aware of it and then you're actually working at it, that's real powerful. Just being aware of
Yeah.
something and being able to work on it. And then just know your limits because certain times you may be like, you know what, that's just not for me. I'm okay.
Facts.
I'm okay. That's not for me. I'm okay. So just being
Facts.
being aware of something and just working it, that's like honestly
Yeah.
powerful. Like that's so
Yeah.
powerful.
Yeah. And like you said, like, God gave us this awareness, right? So, because, I'm not going to get super churchy, but like, just in general, you have something that tells you, like, yo, it's okay that you could do this, or yo, maybe this isn't the time to do this, right? Where like if it's like work or school or for your art, you'll still get that like jolt, like, you know what, I should do this. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like I know I'm scared right now. I don't know what these people are gonna think. But I just did a panel with Grace. Remember Grace? I just did
Mhm.
a panel and like the whole time I was like, what am I doing up here? Like, um, I don't like public speaking. Like, these why would these people care about my life and everything like that, right? So that's what happened the whole time. And then like a week later, Grace is like, yo, a bunch of people want to talk to you. And I'm like, what? Like I was just talking, like, you know what I'm saying? But that's why like you said, you have to like be aware that, yeah, I don't like public speaking, but my story can impact people, and if I'm the one hiding it, then that's an opportunity that's missed. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So sometimes we can be very, very afraid of like stuff, but not
Mhm.
realizing like the thing that you're afraid of is something that's supposed to help somebody else. So that's why I always like do this stuff, even though
Mhm.
like on the inside I'm like, did I just say the right thing? Am I saying it right? Like, is it okay? Like, these people understand what I'm saying? Am I talking too much? So.
You just gotta just don't be hard on yourself. Just understand that like what you're doing is powerful. Like, cause like I said, God don't play around when he's assigning talents with people. Like he don't play
Mm,
around when he's doing that. So he's under he you know how powerful what he's gonna give you is gonna be. And oftentimes we don't realize that. Cause like
mm,
I'll give you exactly with me. I've never really paid attention to like the impacts of my videos. Cause in my mind, I'm just
mm.
putting videos out each week. But then when people came up to me and telling me about what like my videos have done in their life and just giving me feedback and stuff, I'd be a bit like, really? You got that from that? Kind of like
Yeah,
with the same thing with Sharon, like, really, you got that from that? Cause like I don't really,
yeah,
cause when I'm just like, hey, I recorded that, put it out, whatever happens with it, happens with it. I kind of don't
yeah,
really pay too much attention to that. But then I just have to understand like what I'm doing is powerful. And um it's just like it's what I'm doing is just powerful. So let me
yeah. It is, and that's everyone's story can impact somebody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's got a story, and everybody's got can connect with somebody, and I think a lot more people should do it. You know what I mean? So
question number 4. In your work, why do you focus on creating positive and real story of people of color?
that's a good point. Why? I think so. The why is probably a very simple one. I'm black, and I want to create positive and real stories of black people. So a lot of it's driven, self-driven. In the beginning, like when I started doing this, like in the beginning, it was more so like, oh, there's not a lot of black photographers, or so I thought, and not a lot of like positive images of black people. But then come to realize like that's not actually as true. There's always been black photographers. There's always been black and brown people creating positive images of their people, right? But the problem is like back in the 50s, 60s, 70s, like they didn't they had a much harder time doing it like than we do now. They didn't have social media. They had to deal with like racist people or discrimination. So their work didn't get out there as far as it could. Like it didn't reach as many people. So now people think that there weren't that many black people back then. But if you look at history, there's been countless photographers, black photographers. So, and actually not countless, but there was enough, right? But they just didn't get their work out there, and it's not their fault, right? So, but because of that, like the messaging, even today, you know, it takes us to do that. Like we can't ask other people to do it for us. So, like as a black storyteller, I want to contribute to the other black people creating that positive stuff, right? Positive messages, or even if it's not positive, just a real story captured through our eyes. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you see things is based on your culture. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, like for example, let's say I went into like an acidic Jewish community and started taking videos. Like I'm sure I would create a very good video, but I wouldn't. I'd probably miss a lot of stuff that I don't understand a lot of the stuff. So I would probably miss a lot of the connection points of the story because it's just that's not my culture. Like I don't really have the language, right? Even if I went to like a guy like to Guyana and I went there and I shot, like the images I produce would probably be beautiful, but then I know I would miss stuff because I'm not Guyanese. So like maybe this color is very important in Guyana and I don't know it, so I'm not taking pictures of that color. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. Um, so I feel like as people of color with talents in the arts, you have a responsibility that the other black and brown people who aren't talented in the arts to make those people look good. You know what I mean? And not just look good, but like just tell those authentic stories about those people. Because as we know, and especially in America, like stories are the way um, social norms are created. Stories are the way how people view other cultures happens, right? So for example, like you can go to like some other countries, and they'd be like, oh, is there a lot of crime in Chicago? Like, yeah, there's crime in Chicago, but like Chicago is not the worst crime area in America. But like people from other countries might think, hey, if I go to Chicago or if I go to New York, I'm going to get mugged and I'm going to get robbed. But that's because of how the stories are put out there. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense. So it's like we have to have this counter narrative that like, yo, there are dope black fathers in America. There are dope black people in Chicago. Like, it's not just all about crime. You know what I mean? There are people doing very good things. Majority of people in America do very good things. You know what I'm saying? So, but the things that are perpetuated are the darkness, and we have to remind people like, yo, nah, there's light. There's light out here. Like, it's cool. Come outside. Like, help us or be a part of the be a part of the solution. Like, don't just focus on the problems. So that's where why I do what I do. 'Cause I feel like it's my responsibility. So yeah. And the other thing too, and like I told you a little bit earlier, is just like as a documentarian, you know, sometimes like I'll get hit up like, hey, you took this picture of my friend, they died. You know what I'm saying? Like, or something like that, right? And or a family member might die and I have all these pictures of them. Just me just having my camera. You know what I'm saying? But if I didn't have my camera that day, they wouldn't have all these pictures. So I feel like it's still our responsibility to not only document for everybody else, but also for just historical purposes. You know what I mean? So take that video of your dad. You never know, when you want to go look at it again, or even like if you want to show your kids that kind of stuff. Because like I feel like everyone doesn't think about death a lot. Like people think, oh, I'm like I want to be here forever. Like me, Stephen Jones, I'm gonna be here forever. That's not true. So, while I'm here taking pictures, and then afterwards, y'all can look at these pictures like, yo, Stephen did something. You know what I'm saying? You can remember me in a more tangible way, I guess. So that's the one.
Nah, you just got me a little starstruck on that one because I actually wasn't expecting that answer, but that is just so beautiful. And I do the same work with my channel. With everybody that I collaborate with from like the different videos, I made sure like I do people of color to be able to like show that positive light because there's a lot of us in different career fields that just need to be highlighted because I know everybody just like you said with the stories, everybody swear that everybody in the streets, people gaming, people going to jail, people kind of like doing that, but it's like nah, it's a lot of amazing black people doing powerful things out here that obviously like with the stories and everything, the media makes it looks a certain type of way, but it's a lot of us having regular lives, a regular job, never been arrested, never been locked up, never done this, never done that. We just enjoying life to the fullest and doing powerful things in God. So I make sure that I shed that light on my channel.
And also, even if you did a crime or even if you went to jail, like that doesn't mean that's the end of your life. You know what I'm saying? So like what happens after and like how can we help these people come back in our society and not feel like everyone else thinks they're trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, fam, like you're still a part of the family. You know what I mean? You did your time, like hopefully you repented for it. And even if you haven't, how can I help you get there? You know what I'm saying? So instead of like how they may view these people now, like I feel like that's still our responsibility. Like they're still our responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So even the people who do crime, like yo, nah, like like I mean people all the time in Harlem, and I'm just like yo, I don't care. Like I'm gonna treat you like a person. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna treat you like oh you're a gangbanger. Like nah, you're a person. Like yo, what's your name? You know what I'm saying? Like like oh like what's your favorite color? Like I'm just saying stupid stuff, but it's like nah, like these are still people. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, and we need to treat them as such and find ways to help them not do the bad thing. You know what I'm saying? So when you put them in a box, like not you, but when the media or our TV puts people in a box, like, oh, this person is a gangbanger, it kind of makes it seem like that's all they can be. And that's not true. You know what I'm saying? The circumstances that cause them to go in that place. How can we just help them? Period. So that's why you gotta tell these stories. You know what I'm saying? And even let's say not even negative stuff. Even like you're Caribbean, like everybody say like, oh, doctor, lawyer, what's the other thing? Doctor, lawyer,
Policeman,
policeman,
the
nurse.
fireman, nurse, like the
Yeah.
five main careers that they want us to be: doctor, teacher, fireman, police. And
Yeah,
then and then some family be special. They be like lawyer. They be added
yeah,
the
yeah,
lawyer in the mix.
yeah. But
That's
like you showing Caribbean people, other Caribbean people who are doing different things, it
yeah.
changes the story. You know what I'm saying? It changes that narrative. That's a perfect one. It's just like, yo, our parents kind of push us into those careers because those are like very stable careers and make a lot of money and most of them. And but some of us don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? Some of us don't. I mean, I'm a teacher because my mom was a teacher, and I actually love teaching, so that's good for me. But some of us don't actually like nursing. Some of us don't want to be a fireman. You know what I mean? So you highlighting different people who are doing different things will help a lot of people. And these are what I'm talking about. Like, you're telling the story because you understand that part of our culture. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say like you have a responsibility and you're doing it, which is good.
we both doing it.
Oh yeah, of course.
We both doing it. I feel like you have probably already answered this question because question number 5 said, "How do you create and tell stories that are sometimes untold during through your work?"
Yeah, I think I probably answered
Yeah,
it already, but I think just basically just A for me. Oh yeah, I'll simplify it like this. I always have my camera on me. B, I always write down. Um, Anytime ideas come, I'll write down those ideas. And then C, I do a lot of like collaboration. So like sometimes it's not my story that I'm telling, but I'm helping someone else tell theirs. And then that's just how like that untold story gets told. You know what I mean? So
question number 6: What does it feel like to be a photographer? What does it feel like to like run your own brand?
uh, I think it could feel so I think for me it feels very cool, if that makes sense. Like I feel like photography sometimes keeps me sane, if that makes sense. So, like, if I'm stressed at work, or if I'm stressed just in life, I can, you know, take a walk with my camera and just take pictures. You know what I mean? And that keeps me going. You know, and then how does it feel to be a photographer with a brand? Like, sometimes it can feel stressful. Like clients are people, and people sometimes can be people, which means that they can be hard headed or annoying or just whatever. It's people. You deal with people, so sometimes that can not feel good some days. But I think for me, overall, 90% of my days with photography feels good. So yeah.
Kind of like I feel like the same for me. Like it's honestly feel amazing to
Yeah.
like do YouTube and like to produce videos and to like preach and stuff like that. Like I honestly, um, I love it. I love it.
Mhm.
There's
Same.
there's no ounce in my body that hates what I do. I just honestly just love what I do, and it's amazing. I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
Like I'm really just doing what I want in life and just helping people out. So that's just the best thing. Do what
Mhm.
you love and then also helping people out in the process.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how I feel too.
Mhm. Question number 7: How do you balance your work life with your personal life?
Good question. So I think my answer to this is that I don't. I don't really have a good balance of this. Like I think I work too much. But I try to either designate days where I don't do any work. So for a long time it was Saturday. I'll be like, yo, I'm not working on Saturday. So I'm not doing anything. I'll hang out with the wife, I'll hang out with my friends. But then COVID happened, so COVID kind of made it worse. Made it not worse, but made it harder to separate personal with work because you're working at home. You know, so yeah, I don't really have a good balance of it, but I think what I'm trying to do is have a schedule. Like, all right, these are the times I'll edit. These are the times I'll work on invoices. These are the times when I'll teach. These are the times when I'll prep for school, stuff like that. But I'm probably not the best person for this answer because, like, for me, I like to work, and I might be like a workaholic. So, I'm Jamaican, so it's just like, I think in my culture, in my blood to like just always be working. And if I'm not working, I feel weird. So I'm trying to work on it. Is that's part of the things I need to work on my list. So like even yesterday I went to that BAM in Brooklyn, and I didn't take that many pictures, which was good. I just hung out with my friends and just chilled out, which was good. So,
There's no politically correct answer to that question. By the way, like there's no politically correct answer to that question. I just like asking it to just see like different like things, and
yeah,
like that's a common thing that I kind of hear with people is like, I kind of don't have a balance. Like I kind of like work a lot, so it's just me just trying to like just see how people like just balance and everything. So that's just me just wanted to find out. Like, don't worry, there's no like politically correct answer to that
yeah.
question.
I don't
Uh,
have a good answer for it.
yeah, with me, I would feel like I got a good enough balance to
Mm,
where like with my because it's literally three. I got professional, school, personal. So that's
yeah.
literally the three lives that I got going on, and it's a good enough balance in that area because I have designated times to where I record, where I edit, where like I do schoolwork, where I'm reaching out to people. So I have a good enough balance to where I don't stress myself out.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. And, it ebbs and flows. Like some, especially during COVID, some weeks, I didn't do anything. Because I think it relates to your next question. Sometimes your like mental health isn't that good. So it ebbs and flows. And I don't know if you said this earlier, but that's why you kind of have to have grace with yourself, meaning that, hey, sometimes you're not going to be the best student, or you're not going to be the best, or in my case, the best teacher or the best photographer or have the best personal life. So you kind of have to have grace with yourself and understanding that, yeah, and sometimes that's not possible. Sometimes you have to like take a L in your work so you can have a better personal life. Some things that you need to do for school, you have to push them, delay them a little bit so that you can like for your mental health, you can like be right. You might have to hang out with your girl or your family or your friends so you can like clear your head, right? So I always try to have grace with myself now. Like, all right, yay, I didn't get that project done, but I'm okay mentally.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Uh, do you still want me to ask that the question? We could just skip past it.
Oh yeah. I mean, mental health is very important. Period. And yeah, that's all I'll say. Yeah,
All right. Okay, I'll just give my little two part. And then
go ahead.
mental health is very important to me. I make sure like I take like especially like with my professional life, if I have to take days off, I have to take days off. If I got to push back projects, I make sure I push back project because if I'm not good mentally, I'm just not gonna be good all around to do any of my stuff that I need to do. So I make sure that like I take days off, I take rest, and I take break in order to make sure that my mental health is stable. Question number 9. You've been running your business for the last 8 years. What have kept you going through those last 8 years?
I think, God and my family for the most part. Meaning like I feel like I have a purpose with my work and that really keeps me going. And then, family just being very supportive as well. So, in my low days, my family's there to help. You know what I'm saying? Or God's there to give me strength. So yeah, that's what's keeping me going. It's definitely not just me.
Definitely not. You just answered question 10 in there, so I will go
Oh.
straight. Nah, that's fine. I'll go straight into 11. What are some misconceptions about being a photographer?
um, I think for that we always want to take pictures. So like sometimes you go to like family functions or um things with your friends and they're like, "Hey, take my picture," and I'm like, "Yo, I just came here to hang out with you. You know, I came here to um, just be around people." So that's one misconception. Another one might be, that's a good question. That we're good at videography. That's another thing. I get hit up all the time to do video, and I'm like, I can do it. I do it for me. You know, I'm learning, but I will never like take people's money to do video. I'm not a videographer. Other misconceptions is that, you know, you can pick up a camera and then you're automatically a business. But no, like you still need to learn how to use your camera. You need to learn how to run a business. It's not that easy. Like it seems easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you have a camera, you push the button, cool. But it's like, it's not just pushing buttons. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of work. So, and then another misconception is like that photography is fun all the time. And like it depends on you. Like I love shooting. I love editing, but you know, I don't like selecting pictures. Sometimes I have other people do it because I like all my pictures. You know what I mean? But I'll be like, yo, Ezra, yo, look at these. Tell me which one you like. And then that'll help me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so those are some misconceptions, I think.
I feel like it being easy, I feel like that's a misconception for like almost like just every career. And I know especially
Yeah.
like because I know with me being public speaker both in the preaching and then the motivational speaking aspect, a lot of people really think like that's easy. Like it's easy to do public speaking. It is not easy to
It's
do
not
public
easy.
speaking.
It's
Like
not.
like the
It's not.
nervousness that goes through your body before you grab that mic. Like I know you know that nervousness that go through. I have that. Like it's been times when I'm going to whether it's I'm doing preaching and motivation speaking where literally I was scared, like legit scared, and I still had to go up. Then when you're on the stage, you just praying to God that you don't mess up. You get through your
Yeah.
speech. So like, and then it's like the preparation process because you got to practice your speech, the delivery of your speech, and I also write because I write too. Like I make sure here and there I have help, but majority of any time like I do public speaking is just it's based off of like whatever I wrote. So also like paying attention to that. So public speaking not easy. YouTube also is not easy because I feel like everybody think it is. I mean, YouTube is something I believe that everybody can do. I
Yeah.
feel like YouTube
We
is one
gotta
of
put
them
the
like
work in.
yeah, I feel like YouTube is one of them rare stuff where everybody can do it. But just I don't feel like everybody have the work ethic or that energy to do it though.
That's true. Because I mean, the editing alone that's rough, man. Ooh.
It is because you gotta cause like say if you produce all your material, say if you produce all your material, you gotta record the video, edit the
Mm,
video, create the thumbnail, publish the video, promote the video.
mm-hmm,
And say if you well depending that's gonna be hard depending on how many times you post during a week.
mm.
Like
That's true. And some people they post like 3 times a week.
exactly. Now I post 2 times a week and it's still hard. So imagine like the people that post every single day. I couldn't do every single day. Like that's
Yeah, I
that's gonna
can't.
be a little bit too hard. Like I wouldn't be able to do every single day.
Yeah, I can't. I don't even like editing videos. That's my problem. All
Uh
right, what is the next one?
then the next one, question number 12. If someone was to come across what you do, what would you want them to take away from it?
It's a good question. I think personally, I would want them to take away that I care. Like, I care about what I'm doing. I care about the people that I take pictures of, and I care about everyone that's involved in the process. So I hope, like, when they look at my work, they're just like, "Oh, this person really cares about what he does." You know what I mean? Like, and they feel it. And you know, if anything else, that there was love put into this work, and that these people are being shown in their best light. That makes sense.
And as for me, I just want them to take away that like doesn't matter like your age, you can just do what
Mm.
you love. Like from because I started making videos when I was 12. Like
Oh
you
wow.
wouldn't expect a 12-year-old to like be like being a YouTuber, like putting videos out every single week. But just to inspire them, like don't let your age stop you from doing. Don't be like, you know what? I'm gonna do that in like 5 years. Nah, you could do it now.
Mm.
You
You
have
doing
you have the
now?
knowledge, you have the knowledge, and if you don't have the time, you can develop your talent in order to get to where you want to be. But
Mm.
doesn't matter your age, like you can do it whether you're older, you're younger, you're middle, like doesn't matter your age, you can do it. Just have the passion, have the drive, and have a strong enough why. Because with a strong enough
Mm.
why, it's gonna help you through all the season that you're gonna go through. Because it's not gonna be easy. It's not gonna be all brights and beauty. Like you will have to go through some tough time. It's gonna be some times you want to quit, where like you can't quit. Because I'm pretty sure you've had them times where you was
Oh
like,
yeah.
you know what, I forget this. I quit. I throw
Sell
my
these
towel in.
cameras.
Like
Yeah.
it's been several moments during my journey where I almost called quits on everything. Not even just YouTube, like everything. Creating videos, editing videos, public speaking. I was about to call quits on every little thing. I'm like, that professional side of Esma, y'all know that person would not exist anymore. But with a strong enough why and with a passion, with a drive, I didn't quit. Regardless of how bad
Mm.
I wanted to, I couldn't.
You
So
couldn't, yeah. And that's how you know you love it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. Like if you love something, like you said, it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to go through those lows. So that's how you know.
and then we're gonna go with our very last question for today. What are some pieces of advice that you'll give to upcoming photographers?
Um, good question. Where do I start? Is probably first things first. Learn your craft. So put the time in. You know, I don't believe in like 10,000 hours, but like just put the time in. As many hours as you need to learn your camera, to learn your craft. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Even if people act weird, don't be discouraged. Uh, Try to find a mentor if possible. If not, YouTube University is always a thing. You know, I didn't go to school for photography. I just asked a lot of questions and watched a lot of videos and assist. So that helps a lot. So meaning, you know, ask photographers if you can come on their sets or come on their shoots and if you can help them. That way you can, you know, even if it's just to like pick up light stands or anything. But while you're doing that, you can ask questions or you can just watch. You know what I mean? And that gives you a lot of insights in how photography is done. So if you want to be a wedding photographer, you want to be an event photographer, you know, like, hey, bro, can I help you? Can I second shoot? Can I shadow you? It helps. Like, this is how a lot of people learn in a lot of careers, you know what I mean? Just shadow work and being in the background and helping, you know what I'm saying? And the cool thing about assisting is that photographer, you know, if you do, you know, a good job, obviously, will most times like offer you jobs. Like, hey, I can't take this job. Can you do it? Or, oh, I do know a photographer who could do that, who lives in Harlem. Hey, Steve, can you do this? You know what I'm saying? So assisting helps. You know, it's not like free labor. Sometimes you will get paid to assist, but even if it's free, you're getting a lot out of it. So assist is probably one of the things I would tell people to do. Um, and just always learn and, you know, no secrets. Help people on your way up. You know what I mean? So while you're climbing the ladder, you're helping build another ladder or, you know, putting in the guide rope for somebody else. So those are probably the advice I would give.
Mm. And you know I gotta come up with my
Yeah,
advice
yeah,
too. Uh
man.
my advice to the youth is to find something that you love so much that the thought of quitting it, like that scares you. And once you find whatever that is, work on it. Like
Mm,
work on your craft. learn about what you're gonna be doing, whether it's YouTube University, Google University, um, the in-person things with being an intern, but learn the different experience. Like do all that you had to do. Because one mistake that I made early on is that I really didn't work on my craft and like creating.
Mm,
Like I kind of so give you a little insight with when I started. So when I started, I was just like, this is what I want to do, and I just learned later on. So I didn't
mm,
learn the I didn't learn what I was gonna do before I did it. I was kind of like learning along the way. So like I didn't know how to properly create videos, how to properly edit videos, how to
mm,
how to create thumbnails properly, those different things. Like I basically learned along the way. So I feel like that kind of gave me like a little like it kind of pushed me back a little bit, but in my case it worked out for me because that's the way God wanted me to go with about my journey. But I would not advise nobody to do that. I will personally advise people to learn what you're doing before you start it. All while you're doing it, pay close attention and then continue to learn, because just know your gift gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off,
mm.
whether it's currency, whether it's opportunities. Your gift is gonna pay off. So just make sure that you find that gift, use it, and also make sure that you use it back for the Lord. Let's also make sure that we use that, because the person that gave you the gift also wants you to not only use the gift for others, but use it for him too.
That's good. Yeah, that's true.
Mhm. Too. And Steve, thank you so much for coming on the video today. Big shout out to the 5 a.m. today brand and everything that you're doing. It's so powerful to see another brother, not only regular brother, but another Caribbean brother, just doing an amazing things. Because we really live in the American dreams,
Yeah, man.
both being immigrants from the Caribbean, and we came over here, took advantage of opportunities that our parents blessed us with, and we made the
Mm.
most of those opportunities, and now we're successful. We're living our best life. So big shout out to you for doing that. I know your parent, I know your mother proud. I know she proud, because when you first come over here, all the parents give you that talk, give you that little talk,
Mhm.
because they won't want you to waste that opportunity that you're being blessed with. This big shout out to your brand, big shout out to you. I know you make your mother proud. I know.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me on here, man. This is fun. Um, and I think like thanks for giving me the opportunity to tell my story and help someone. Hopefully people get something out of this. Um, like you're definitely an inspiration because wow, like you started at 12 and you've been doing this whole time and you've just been helping other people. So I definitely know that your mother's proud, your mom and dad are proud, and just keep going, man. Keep pushing it.
I definitely will. I don't have no plans on stopping anytime soon. But guys, this was the end of the video. Make sure that you check out Steve, all his social medias, and then also his website. It will be in the description below. Make sure you guys check him out. If you need any events, you need somebody to take pictures for the event, make sure that you contact 5 a.m. today. They offer really good services, and then you can check out the price and everything on the website. All the information is up there.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for coming back. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe if you're new. Please turn on your post notification. That way, anytime I upload, YouTube will send you a notification. This is Motivation for Young Christian by Anton Holder. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Peace.
Peace.